What's up? Welcome back to another episode of theZim's video journal. This is video journal 116. How you doing? I'm pretty good. It's Sunday night. What's the date? June 31st. June 31st. Almost to August. Alright, so anyways, let's just run down the list. First thing, best highlight of the weekend for me in my musical journey. Probably the highlight of my musical journey in this last week. Because this is what this is. This is where I document what went down on my musical and artistic journey, and also life things sometimes. And this is not the podcast. I have a podcast as well called Word on the Street. This is my video journal. Highlight of my week was, I got to give a shout out to Jay Davis. He posted on the theZim's and Arock's Facebook page. Just really dug, what did he say? Really dig your guys' work. Looking forward to catching more. So it's awesome to get social interaction from somebody on the social networks that's, reaching out and just giving us some love. And I love it. So thanks a lot, Jay Davis. Love the social interactions. So if you want to do it, especially when it's somebody I don't know. So I don't know Jay. And also, I haven't got any reviews for the podcast for a while, and that's one of my favorite things to get is a review on iTunes for the podcast. But I haven't got that for a while, so if you want to hook that up, do it. All right, my jam. What's the jam of the week? So I'm going to start this week. I was talking about the jam of the week. Well, I've been doing it at the end, but I'm going to start it off. And this week's jam of the week. Look at this. This is how I write. Can you read any of that? I need to learn. I need to write. So what I need to do is get my printer working again. I have no ink in my printer, so I can just type this out and print it. But I rushed doing this, and I'm trying to read it, and I thought I'll remember, but I was like, whatever. But anyways, my jam of the week is Ryan Anthony Brooks. He wants to be on Word on the Street, so he sent in some information, including his EP that he put out recently, and I listening to it and just kind of grabbed me, and I listened to it a bunch over this last few days that he sent it in. So it's called Wanderlust, and the jam, I'll link to it, of course. I don't think Ryan has a Facebook page of his own, but he's the lead singer for the Pronouns, so I'll link up the Pronouns. So I'll link up ways for you to find it in the description and all that stuff. But lead singer of the Pronouns, he wasn't here when I had the Pronouns on as part of the Four Corners thing they did, but for the podcast, but he wants to be on as individual thing. And the specific jam that I really resonated with was a song called Eventually, but I basically was just listening to I think it's 5 songs he put out on his EP, and all 5 songs were really good, really tasty, really nicely produced. So I encourage you to check it out and let me know. This is the important part of this whole process, is you have to let me know what your jam is. What's your jam? What are you listening to right now? I mean, what did you discover this last week? What have you been listening to for the last month? What is just one of your favorite songs, local or not? Doesn't matter. I want to hear about it. Put it in the description of this video. That'd be awesome. One idea that came up this week. I'm going to talk about a little life stuff first and then get into the podcast ideas. But, I mentioned to you before, I'm really working on not complaining. If I ever think about complaining about something, and I just redirect. What I do is if I start to complain about something, whatever it is, I just stop and redirect and start thinking about something else. So just because I don't know yet how to totally turn a complaint into a constructive thing, so I'm just avoiding it. I'm if I feel myself complaining about something, I just avoid it right now until I learn a little more skills, I guess, and then learn how to deal with it better. But one of the things that sometimes when you get a text, right, or something from somebody asks you how's your day, and it's just you just want to be you just want to complain, you just want to tell them, oh, it's not so good, or whatever. It's I know there's a fine line between just stating the reality, but also I'm trying to be positive, all that kind of stuff. It's all crazy. So my auto response this last week was, I'm thankful to be alive. Whenever I wanted to say something negative or just not so positive, I just was thankful to be alive. And in the moment of doing that, it's got me thinking about the things that I'm thankful for, and my kids and music and other things like that. And so that's my thing. That's my trick right now, and it's working out so far. So I just wanted to share that with you. Thankful to be alive. There it is. This week, I'm just gonna go down the list. It's a little bit out of order, but whatever. This last week, so I decided to take a break. We had Brody Nation last, 2 weekends ago, whatever. Last weekend, the 23rd was Brody Nation. Working up to that was pretty stressful and just kind of like a lot of energy working up to that. And then so I was like, I need a break, so this week we took a break off band practice. No band practice this week. But here on out is we're going to start recording. I've decided how we're going to do it. We're going to try to do it, capture live as possible. We're just going to see how it works out and just go that way. And if it's not working out, we can always roll back and do it another way. But I'm just going to try to really capture Arock and I playing live together with our backing tracks and see how we manage to make it happen. So I'll keep you posted on that. But this week is it. And basically how I've decided to do it, like instead of blocking out a weekend to record like everything or something like that, it's basically I'm just going to use our rehearsal time, because for the next couple months it's pretty packed. Like I got more podcasts I'm doing. I got the 100th version party of the podcast, still working toward that. So it's like trying to clear a weekend is for recording is not working out. But we rehearse 2 days a week. And so what I'm just going to do is basically we have 8 songs we need to record. So for the next 4 weeks, if we manage to get all 4 weeks in, all 2 practices in 4 weeks, each practice will record a new song. At least that's the minimum. Maybe more, but a minimum every practice will record a new song and just kind of work. And that way, a couple of things I think might happen is like, because we're not recording them all in one setting, maybe tones will be a little bit different because temperature of the day, just different things, as, when you play your instrument, just little things will shift. And so that might be nice colors to have in the sounds, and just kind of go with it. Like, we're not the type, a lot of people that record, especially drums, will like really listen, like have like 5 snare drums and they'll try to pick the snare drum that works best for that song. We only have 1 snare drum basically, and we have one thing we do and we're not going into a real studio, we're doing it all ourselves. So it's all that kind of stuff. So it's just kind of like go for it and see what happens, and in post we can tweak things and make subtle differences in the sound a little bit, maybe, I don't know. But recording starts now, basically. Monday, I'm actually going to go over on Monday and start setting up. So Tuesday, we're ready to go. So there's that. Just talking about the band a little bit. So let's talk about Word on the Street. We got Word on the Street. We did version 91 this last week with Tobias the Owl, or Elijah. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I don't want to try it. I'll try it. Deva? I don't know. Anyways, I don't have it written down in front of me. So Tobias the Owl was on, and it was great. The one thing, it was really good, like in terms of flow of conversation. I never felt personally like I was searching for something to talk about. It was like there was enough that I've discovered. I know he's involved with, that it was easy to flow. I've discovered that if I don't know enough about the person already, so doing a little more research will be good, but trying to mine for that, if like the first 20, I'd say 15 to 20 minutes, if I don't know enough, it's like building the conversation, then things start rolling, then I'm like, oh, okay, we talk about this and this and this and this, but it's like I kind of backtrack a lot in those first 20 minutes if I don't know what really I'm going for. But Elijah's was just rolling straight through, and it was great. The one thing that would have been nice, I guess, at the end we started talking about culture of the scene stuff, what it's like, and he brought up this idea that he's kind of worried about the scene in terms of getting the support. He feels like it's getting, I can't think of the right words for it, but just that it's at risk for being a thriving scene. The support for local independent music maybe getting squeezed out in some kind of ways, and we talked about some ideas around that, but we didn't really talk about solutions for that, which I was hoping to kind of go into, but I don't even know what the solutions are. I know it's just what I found interesting about it was he felt there's a need for something, but defining what that is wasn't clear yet in talking to him. So it's just part of the conversation, really. It's like there's an awareness that we have to support each other, but how to do that the best is the question. So encourage you to check out the conversation with Elijah and let me know what you think about it. Also with the podcast, what are you thinking about the short intros? So far, 2 weeks in a row, I've done short intros. Does it matter? Do you like it better? Love to hear some feedback from you. I've been making the outros way longer. I got some advice a few weeks ago that I mentioned. I think it was Video Journal 112 because I watched it actually recently, and I mentioned that I wasn't going to change anything based on the feedback I got, but it really just, I don't know, why not, things, trying to shake it up a little bit. So let me know what you think about the shorter intros, if they're better or if they don't matter or whatever. So love to hear what you're thinking about it. So we got that. Behind the scenes, the podcast did that. Okay, and this last week I went, this also, so 2 photo sets I published this week. I published a photo set for Fly Moon Royalty and on the We're on the Street, or facebook.com/We're on the Street podcast page. I posted a bunch of photos from the Fly Moon Royalty set at Brody Nation, so check that out. Let me know what you think. And I also I went to the Ghost Town Whistlers. Ghost Town Whistlers. I always want to say Whispers. Now I'm going to make you say it. But Ghost Town Whistlers set. And it's basically, if you know the band Wookiee that was on the podcast, it was a bunch of them and a few others. So it's I don't know. Well, it's 3 of the members from Wookiee. 1 of the members of Honey Mustard, who's going to be at the 100th episode recording of the podcast, and then 1 person named Simon, who I don't know yet. Haven't met in person really. So caught their set at the Columbia City Theater, took some pictures, and their set was amazing, really good. So I highly recommend checking out Ghost Town Whistlers. Of course, I mean, I didn't know what to expect. Like Wookiee is more psychedelic rock, I guess you could say, and Ghost Town Whistlers is more kind of down the middle rock, like classic rock, kind of felt more down the middle. But quality set and really good. So check out the photo sets I did. I'm trying to do more. I'm doing more photos because why not? I'm getting better with my camera a little bit. My camera's not the greatest, but it works, and I'm just doing it and learning how to shoot in low light. And if you are in a band and want some photos at your show, I'm happy to come out. I'm trying to get $25 and a spot on the list. So if you want to hire me to shoot your show, I would do it. So let me know. And weekdays usually are better for me because I usually have my kids on the weekends. So speaking of shooting shows, tonight after I finish this, I'm going to check out Beatrix Sky at the High Dive, and I'm bringing the camera. Gonna shoot that show, and there's a couple, I don't remember who else is on the lineup, but I think it's all local. So I'll probably shoot the whole show because basically, so another thing about the Ghost Town Whistlers show, they were amazing, but it also reminded me, it's like back, if you remember when I was talking about the R.L. Hires Your Sweet Action, show that I went at the High Dive a month or 2 ago, I can't remember now, and there was nobody there. Well, it was the same kind of thing. It was like this amazing music and nobody's there, and it's just like, I'm glad that I'm not crazy when I say that idea, but yeah, so there's that concept as well. I think that's about it. We'll leave it at that. So I'm going to the show tonight, and then last thing to mention is the Word on the Street. I mentioned already, but just to pound it in a little more, is Word on the Street 100th version recording party at the substation, August 20th, 5:30 p.m. is when it starts. We got DJ Vu opening it up. We got Honey Mustard. We got Tobias the Owl. We got theZim's and Arock playing in the round. That'll be like the podcast portion. And we have Crystal Desert closing it out with the party rockin' set. And then we have Strive Creative Coalition going to be there to help with the technical support. And then we have Katie Kirchie and Kari Nicole Taylor going to do some art work hanging on the walls, and then the substation has a bunch of other people there having art. So yeah, so that's what's going on. I think I covered it. I don't know, my brain's a little foggy right now, but we'll leave it at that, and we'll catch you next week. Thanks for joining. This was episode. I say episodes on the video journal and versions on the podcast. This is episode 116 of the video journal. If you have any questions for me, let me know. Put them in the description. Put them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. So, all right, that's it. Peace.